Welcome back to your midweek edition of Afternoon Express. Now we welcome former Miss SA Cindy Nell to the studio to chat about her organisation that empowers, educates and uplifts women and girls in disadvantaged communities. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Palissa.
Now having you at the end of the show, I think, speaks so true to all your organisation, because I feel like it is a true encapsulation of everything we've been talking about, education and empowering our young girls. So what is Women4Women all about, and what inspired you to start the organisation?
My first aha moment for starting the organisation was when I had my own daughter. And with my years of working in various different charities, from my Miss South Africa days through to working with Miss Universe all over the world, one thing that's really stood out for me is that there's still a very big discrepancy in the level of education that's provided to young people based on their income. And if I imagine my own little girl, all little girls should have the level of education and access to the knowledge and education, specifically non-traditional education that she has. And I was the principal judge also for the Mrs. South Africa organisation for many years. What really stood out for me was that so many of the women who entered that platform came in, and I saw the transformation, like rapid transformation within a year in them. It really was something that stood out for me year in and year out. And I thought to myself, imagine we could transport this process into a year of a girl's life at a younger age. You know, in that very influential age between kind of 9 and 13, where we teach girls about menstruation, sexual health, you know, non-traditional skills, everything from you know, self-awareness, self-protection, grooming, public speaking, saving, basic entrepreneurial skills. Yeah. And with that, the marriage of Ania being born and the Mrs. South Africa organisation, Women4Women, was born. We basically run life skills programs all throughout the country. We currently have 20 active programs in townships and underprivileged areas in the country. And we do these once a week lessons where the girls come and we're seeing the transformation in them within 1 year.
And then where do these classes take place, these life skills?
So we would typically ask a church for a space, or wherever we could get a space, or we would rent a little space. So our volunteer teacher, head of that program in that area, so we would appoint a volunteer teacher, we would train them in our specific curriculum, and they would then take charge of that little pod and run those girls. And then they arrive every week at their lessons. And it's what we're trying to do is we're trying to create more of these little pods.
Absolutely.
So having hundreds of them around the country.
Something that we definitely are seeing is that education is key and so crucial when it comes to stopping and combating violence and gender-based violence against women and children. So we salute you and your team, definitely a mammoth task that you're doing. But as all organizations do, you also run your own independent campaigns. I mean, we did see the birth last year and the launch of the Whistleblower campaign. So can you just tell us about that campaign? How many lives did it change, and in what capacity?
Well, I think everyone knows that gender-based violence was very much highlighted last year, but it is something that, when it is not highlighted, is still a very big problem. And within the organisation, we're trying to teach the girls from a very young age to stay safe, how to recognize dangers, how to keep away from them, self-defense, basic self-defense, knowing how to report crimes, knowing how to say when they feel unsafe and who to go and talk to. But we also launched the Whistleblower campaign, where we supply little whistles, the police-type whistles in townships to young girls to carry around their neck and under their clothing, and also young women, as well as little pepper sprays. We're teaching them how to use them. We're teaching them what's the appropriate time and space to use the whistles. And when you read the newspapers about the young girls, for example, that went to the shop last year and then went missing and then were found in gutters, those are typically the few seconds that we hope to intervene if somebody feels unsafe, if they can blow that whistle and draw attention to them in an area where maybe somebody was just not looking. So we're hoping to roll that out some more together with our menstrual cup program.
Cindy, it just seems like you are so busy, rightly so, with this campaign and with this organization, so much so that you need to call on the help of most. If we're looking at former Miss South Africa's, Mrs. South Africa's as well, the finalists included, you're calling all of these influential women that I'm sure also are giving and rubbing off so well on these young girls that look up essentially to these queens that they are. So why is it essential for you to call for this collaboration with the ladies? How frequently do you look for that help? And then at the end of the day, what's the overall mission?
So the same reason I'm here today is the same reason that we call for public faces and well-known personalities to support us. And it really is to highlight the cause. And it is not only to bring hope, that there's so many people, as you saw on the show today, there's so many people actually really doing things behind the scenes. And there's so many of us that really believe in a brighter future for our children, that really believe that we can make a better South Africa. And it's happening. But, I mean, we've been very fortunate. We've had celebrities like Minkie van der Westhuizen, Rolene Strauss, Denise Simba, Liesel van der Westhuizen, many Mrs. South Africa's formers and currents who are supporting us. And it's important to us to have public faces and celebrities that support us and explain to people what it is that we do and get on board on social media, because that way we can get more funding, and the funding can be channeled from corporates and individuals down to areas with poverty-stricken needs and to the young children whose parents live in townships and leave them all day long to go to work, and they are left vulnerable, and also nobody to teach them the things that my daughter would be taught just over supper or at home. So that's why it's important to have celebrities. Are you joining us, Valesa?
I am.
Are you going to be our brand ambassador?
Sign me up. No, I've got goosebumps. I feel so empowered right now to get stuck in and involved. Thank you so much, Cindy, for sharing this movement with us, so much so that we also need to just link to another lady who is using her voice in the very same way.